Hey bookworms, we are going to do our weekly whimsy, and I noticed some of you have been speaking about our glass pen, and I thought it might be fun to add this into it. I don't know why I haven't done this before. I sent that cool pen to you guys and was super excited about it, and then just sort of like haven't used it. I have been playing with it on my by myself. There's a couple ideas I had for it, but I thought why not use it in the weekly whimsy. So we've got our forest on fire here. I've already sketched it on. I'm going to leave it really light this time so you guys won't be able to see much, but I'm pulling it up so you can see what I did. I did very minimal. And I've got my watercolor set. I'm going to do like a overall wash. And then we're going to jump in with our pen, and I have some fun things to show you with that. I have not used it much, so I'm pretty new to the glass pen as well. I've been playing with some ideas I had for it for like long term, for some other projects coming up with our other subscription boxes. So that's where the idea came from, was to do something else with that. So I've been playing with that, but I haven't really, unfortunately, used it with you guys. So I apologize. So I've got my water pen here. You can also just use a brush and water. And then I've got my paint here. And I am going to do like oranges and reds. So as especially up here, I want everything to sort of just be like this bright, fiery wash of color. So I'm just going to pick a few different colors of oranges and yellows for the top up here, as it lights up the sky there. Get some yellow down in here. And I'm going to do a darker orange down in this area. Get plenty of water on there so it's a good wash. Okay, so there is our overall color. So for the flames, I'm going to go in with a little bit deeper, more like a red, especially down here at the bottom. And it's wet on wet, so this should bleed and look really cool. And I want it to sort of bleed around, look more fiery. Pour some more of this water out, really get it going. All right. I'm going to go in with a deeper red, add some through here, just so I can get some different depths of the color in through here. That looks cool. Okay, and then this color up in here, some of these flames that are really coming up over the trees, I want to pull that color up in there. All right, that looks cool. I want this a little bit more watered down. There we go. Cool. Okay, so our glass pen. I'm going to just wipe my brush off onto a paper towel. So this came with a little stand too, which I thought was cool. And it just sets like that so that your ink can stay within the ridges. So the idea is that you want to fill these ridges up with pigment, ink, or whatever you're using. I'm going to use my watercolor. Hold on. My paper is pulling up on me. I'm going to try to curl it the other way a little bit so that it lays a little flatter. I sort of want the water spots to sort of pool there. Okay, that's a little better. All right, so I've got my pen here, and I'm going to use a brush or my water pen, and I am going to add this really, let me see if this is in view. Okay, so a really dark red here, and I'm going to pick up a whole lot of it on my water brush. And then I'm going to, so hopefully, here, let me pull this up, see if you guys can see. Is it in focus? Come on, get into focus. There we go. That's better. All right, so you can see all these ridges, and I'm just sort of squeezing my pen a little bit so it fills those ridges with color. All right, so the last time I did this, it worked really well. Let's see if it does this time. Yes. So watercolor works really good with these. So this is still wet on wet, so you can see it's sort of bleeding and looking very wild. Let me pull this up. Look how cool that looks with the bleed. Okay. All right, so then I have some old water here. Be really careful dipping this because it's glass and you don't want to chip your tip. The cool thing that I watched online before purchasing these and put them in your box, supposedly you can take like a nail file and sort of smooth, if you ever were to chip the tip of your pen a little, you can actually smooth it back out to some extent. But I thought that was really neat. All right, so now I need to get my brush cleaned out because it was very loaded with pigment. And I want to pick up some of this water now because I don't want to do quite as much wet on wet. So there we go. I'm going to grab my water pen again. And let's see, I'm going to use a more vibrant red this time and load my brush down. So this is a really fun way to use if you don't already have ink at home. If you have ink, awesome. This would be fun as well. But I thought this was a neat way to use the pen with watercolor. So I'm adding more water. I'm just squeezing some water on there so that it flows a little better. There we go. Maybe. Hold on. All right. So I'm just making lots of little squiggles. Okay. Carefully clean my brush or my pen off. And then I'm gonna clean my water pen again. And I'm going to pick up some of this darker orange and add some more detail to the tops of the flames. So I'm just filling those ridges up so they look full. And then you want to let them run to the end. Flames are like a perfect thing to sort of get used to because they don't have to be all even. It's not like calligraphy here. All right. Now, another cool thing by using the watercolor is once you get your pen, you could do like a whole drawing like this and then use the water to sort of blend out some of this. It's not quite so many lines and doesn't look quite like you went in with just a pen, right? So you can see Sort of softening those up a little. Love it. Okay, so I can still see my trees in here. It is probably hard for you guys to see on the video, but there is a very faint line with the trees. I'm going to clean my brush. Got this pretty cleaned off. I want to add some smoke. So I'm going to add a really light gray, just very little. And some smoke pillowing up here. All right, I'm liking it. Okay, so now for the trees. So I am going to use my brush again. I'm going to use really dark green. I'm going to load my glass pen back up again. Okay. So you can see I'm almost doing like a zigzag. I'm shaking the brush as I go, or the pen. Okay. And I got them real squiggly and faint because there's lots of burnt things down here. Okay. Then I'm going to load my pen up again, get a little more ink on there, or a little more watercolor rather. And I've got these nice big trees over here. I'm just using really light pressure with little squiggles to make the branches. And just want it to be wider and bigger at the bottom. And all sort of different. Load my brush back up, or my pen back up. Oop. Careful of the dots. There's some trees in here. The trees right in the flames, remember those are going to be way more sparse. And lighten your pressure so the trees look very like almost engulfed by the flames. I'm going to put random. So you can see the ones on the outside there are darker because they are not quite in full flame yet. I'm using really light pressure just to create whatever is left on my pen here to create trees sort of in the background there. All right, I'm going to use, I've got some more of this dark green on my watercolor, and I'm going to give there a little more depth to the floor here, the forest floor. I love it. This pen is super fun, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So I think that might be, I sort of like the simplicity of the lines and the colors. Let me pull it up and see what you guys, it's pretty cool. So you can see where I sort of bled out the lines a little bit with the flames. It's sort of eerie, the forest under the fire. So there it is. We used our pen, some watercolor. This would be a really good way to sort of get a feel for this. And the watercolor is pretty forgiving as far as a way to use the glass pen, in my opinion. And then now, as you can see, it's got ink on it, paint on it rather. All I have to do is rinse it under the water if you need a little bit of soap sometimes. But yeah, have some fun with it and let me know what you guys think. And then hopefully my idea for the coming boxes to go along with our pen will work out, because I'm hoping that I had some ideas for it. So we'll see. Even if not, that you guys have this really beautiful pen. I hope you enjoy it. It's a great way, instead of using like the micron pens too, like if you get some black ink, and doing your outline that way, it's a little more of a fun, whimsical way to put the lines into your weekly whimsies. So, all right, guys, I love seeing all of yours. You all inspire me, and I will see y'all soon.